1,000 Years of Elegance, Spring and Autumn of the Emperor. Preface. In this day and age, there is no magic, no mythology, no harem entanglements, and no adventures from the sky. Only those people in the long river of history, relying on wisdom and sweat, write their own imperial legends. From the Shang dynasty to the Confucian debate, from Zhao Yun, a famous general of the Three Kingdoms, to Liu Bowen, a famous minister of the Sui and Tang dynasties, from Dongfang Shuo's wit to the confrontation between He Shen and Hai Rui. This is a competition for ideas and power that spans thousands of years, an epic of struggle and wisdom. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 1, The Dream of the Boudoir. In 355 BC, in the border town of Qin during the Warring States period, the young Han Shiyang had the dream of poetry and books, and met the girl next door, Shen Kikai, in the peach blossom spring boudoir. Han Shiyang's father was a petty official in the Qin state, and he was demoted for some reason, and his family was in the middle of the road, but he never gave up his dedication to the imperial examination and official career. Han Shiyang vowed that he would definitely rise in this troubled era and bring the family back to the top. Shen Kikai is the daughter of a hermit in Qi state, well read, and Tongkin, chess, calligraphy and painting. She said to Han Shiyang, "The disputes in this world are unpredictable, and only by law and virtue can we be invincible." The two decided to embark on a long road together. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 2, The Intersection of Law and Confucianism. Han Shiyang was able to visit Shang Ying, a master of the Qin law, and was inspired by his strict laws and his ideas of law change. Faced with the challenge of Confucius's disciple Yan Hui, Shang Ying launched a fierce Confucianism polemic. Law is the foundation of a country. Without strict laws, how can we govern the world? Shang Yang spoke fiercely. Benevolence, righteousness, propriety, and wisdom are the principles of the world, and the law cannot nourish people's hearts after all. Yan Hui retorted. This debate not only affected Han Shiyang, but also reshaped the political direction of the entire Qin state. In the intersection of two major ideas, Han Shiyang gradually found his own political philosophy. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 3, The Three Kingdoms, Heroes Competing. Time passed to the end of the Eastern Han dynasty, and war was raging. Han Shiyang's descendant Han Yi became a general of Shu Han and fought alongside Zhang Qing, a fierce general of Wu. During a southern expedition, Han Yi and Zhao Yun met by chance, and the two hit it off at first sight. Zhao Yun reminded him, the art of war is not only the art of war, but also the war of people's hearts. Han Yi knows that only by understanding people's hearts can they survive in troubled times. At this time, Li Yunba rose strongly from the north and shocked the world. Han Yi and Zhao Yun faced this legendary hero and had a life and death duel, and the war spread to the Three Kingdoms. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 4, A Battle of Wisdom and Strategy, Dongfang Shuo and Liu Bowen. At the end of the Eastern Han dynasty, Han Jingqian, the son of Han Yi, joined the court and became acquainted with Dongfang Shuo. The two men, one civil and one military, often competed with each other in wits and courage in the court. Dongfang Shuo is known for his witty wit, and Liu Bowen is a representative of Sui and Tang wisdom. Time flies. Han Jingqian's grandson Han Yunfei became an important minister in the Tang dynasty, and he was in the same hall with Liu Bowen to start a chess competition. The general trend of the world, divided for a long time, will be divided for a long time, and every step on the chessboard is crucial. Liu Bowen said indifferently. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 5, The Game Between the Courtier and the Emperor. In the early years of the Ming dynasty, Han Hongxian, a descendant of the Han family, became the first assistant of the cabinet, and was contemporaneous with He Shen and Hai Rui. He was in the same hall with two courtiers with very different styles, and became the most important think tank in the emperor's ears. He Shen's sleekness and Hai Rui's rigidity make the court full of tension. Han Hongxian is at ease in it, making good use of legal principles and benevolent government to strive for a balance. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 6, The Tide of History. From the ambition of the Qin Emperor and the Han dynasty to the martial arts of the Tang dynasty and Song ancestors, every historical figure has written his own legend in the struggle. The Han family has been passed down from generation to generation and has witnessed and participated in the rise and fall of this emperor that spans thousands of years. They do not rely on miracles or the destiny of heaven, but rely on wisdom, hard work, and struggle to shape generations of historical drivers into true emperors. Chapter 7 has an infinite starting point. Han Shiyang stood in the long river of history, staring at the endless journey ahead. For others, the end is only a new beginning. He knows that the road of the true emperor has never stopped fighting. Chapter 8, the spring boudoir of the imperial examination. Han Shiyang is 17 years old, and he is a young man with high spirits, and the glory and pressure of the imperial examination field are like shadows. He once competed with many talented people in the academy in his hometown, especially Su Chengyuan, a scholar of Qi state, as his enemy. At the spring boudoir banquet, Shen Kekai was dressed in plain clothes, with beautiful eyebrows and eyes, holding a zither in her hands, and had an outstanding temperament. Han Shiyang whispered to her in the crowd, "If I can get your help, I will study hard and repay you one day." Su Chengyuan sneered and said, "The imperial examination is just a play in Confucianism, and the power plot is a real wrestling field." Han Shiyang understood that this exam was far from a simple article competition, but a contest between the scheming and strategy of the monarch and the minister. Chapter 9, The Hermit's Search and the Revelation of Wisdom. The road to the imperial examination was full of thorns, and Han Shiyang fell into a trough due to political struggles. At this point, he decided to leave the hustle and bustle and seek out the hermit in order to break through. He stepped into the hidden valley of Daowen and visited the scribe Ma Bai, who had lived in seclusion for decades. Mo Bai is knowledgeable, has insight into world affairs, and gives Han Shiyang a lot of inspiration in his words. A gentleman should convince people with virtue and defeat the enemy with wisdom, and the article is not only pen and ink, but also a display of scheming and bearing. Han Shiyang realized here that the imperial examination and politics are like a chessboard, and every step needs to be planned and then moved. Chapter 10, Recommendations by Ministers in Game of Thrones in the Court. After several years of hard study and ups and downs, Han Shiyang finally entered the court as an official. As a fledgling, he met the same new young courtiers, the brilliant Gu Xing and the upright Zhang Yuns. Gu Xing is knowledgeable and good at conspiracy games, Zhang Yuns adheres to the principle of justice. The alliance between the three of them above the court has also become each other's biggest challenge. The monarch Qin Zhao appreciated Han Shiyang and summoned the three of them, intending to use them to balance the forces of all parties. However, the undercurrent between the DPRK and China is surging, there are disputes between the 6 countries outside, and there are powerful ministers fighting inside. Han Shiyang knows very well that this game within a game cannot be relaxed. Chapter 11, A Modern Interpretation of the Legal Confucian Polemic. At the Legislative Assembly of the Qin State, Han Shiyang faced Kong Mingda, a descendant of Confucius, and the two debated. Kong Mingda advocates governing the country with etiquette, emphasizing benevolence, righteousness, propriety, and wisdom, and moral education is indispensable. Han Shiyang advocated the reform of the strict law and insisted that everyone was equal before the law. Law is ruthless but fair, etiquette is affectionate but corruptible. Han Shiyang hit the nail on the head. The two men were arguing with each other, and the result of the debate caused a shock in the DPRK and China, and also attracted the attention of various forces. Chapter 12, Zhao Yun and Li Yuanba, Peak Showdown. The legacy of the Warring States period still exists, and the conflict between Chu and Han is becoming increasingly fierce. Han Shiyang's descendant Han Yuchen became a general of the Chu army and met Zhao Yun, a fierce general of the Han army. Zhao Yun is brave and unparalleled, and Han Yuchen is resourceful. In a night attack, the two had a fierce duel in the barracks under the moon, and in the shadow of swords and swords, they both respected each other's martial arts and courage. Just when the two were evenly matched, Li Yuanba, a foreign race from the north, led the elite troops south to break the balance of the battle. The three of them engaged in a three-way game, and the art of war and force were intertwined. constituting the most classic peak duel in history. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 13 Dongfang Shuo and Lu Boan, A Contest of Wisdom. At the turn of the Sui and Tang dynasties, Han Jingyun, a descendant of the Han family, was in the court and had frequent interactions with the wise and resourceful Dongfang Shuo and Lu Boan. Dongfang Shuo satirized the powerful and wealthy with wit and humor, while Lu Boan planned the world's affairs with foresight. Han Jingyun walks between the two, learning how to use wisdom and strategy to protect himself and help the king consolidate his kingdom. At a court meeting, the three of them discussed the general trend of the world, and the debate was fierce, and Han Jingyun finally proposed the law of balance and won the respect of the ministers. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 14 He Shen and Hai Chui, A Confrontation between the court and the court. In the middle of the Ming dynasty, Han Hongxian was an official in the court and witnessed the power of He Shen and the incorruptibility of Hai Rui. He Shen was eloquent and good at currying favor with the powerful, while Hai Rui was strict and upright and dared to impeach corrupt officials. Han Hongxian struck a balance between the two, trying to maintain a clean government. At a court meeting, Han Hongxian mediated the conflict between the two with clever words, won the emperor's commendation, and promoted reform with the concept of governing the country by virtue. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 15 The Imperial Way lasts forever, and the struggle never ends. The wheel of history is rolling forward, and the Han family has struggled for generations and has never stopped. The dream of the imperial examination, the wisdom of the hermit, the recommendation of the courtiers, the polemics of the Confucians, the swords and swords of the generals, the contest of the wise, and the confrontation between the Qing officials and the traitorous ministers. These fragments shone like stars, forming a vast imperial scroll. Han Shiyang finally sighed, the end of history is never the end, only struggle and hard work can create an infinite new chapter.